Racism is described as prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one race is superior to the other.
Omi and I felt that this topic was the most relevant issue to the two of us, and we feel it's been disregarded as a serious issue in America.
Some say racism does not exist anymore. We as two minorities are here to explain that racism does exist and that it happens every day.
Here are some examples of small things said to people every day that are racist.
These are just small examples of racism every day. There are still bigger issues. For example, drug use and drug possession. 5 times as many white people are using drugs compared to African Americans, but African Americans are sent to prisons for drug offenses at 10 times the rate as white people. African Americans virtually have the same prison sentence as white people do for violent offenses, even though their offenses are only drug offenses. Other issues involving racism is incarceration and the amount of minorities arrested. Together, African Americans and Hispanics comprise 58% of all prisoners in 2008, even though they make up approximately 1/4 of the U.S. population. Of men 18 years old, 30% Black are arrested, 26% Hispanics are arrested, and 22% white have been arrested.
Racism has been a huge part of our history that our country seems to want to hide. Our history books focuses a lot on how Native Americans and African Americans were mistreated, but do not show a lot on how Latinos were discriminated. Some examples include Manifest Destiny and how that exploited the Mexican community to cheap labor and made them seem as lesser human, while still living in their countries. There's the violence Latinos experienced during the California Gold Rush because they were seen as a threat to white Americans for being successful at mining. The Greaser Act in 1855 in California, also known as the anti-Mexican law to the Latino community, but most importantly the 1940s Hollywood era. This was the start of the infamous stereotypes that affected all minorities. These stereotypes are the reasons many think that every Latino is a lawnmower or a maid, the reason that causes many to believe that we're all immigrants that do not speak English well. The main reason non-Latinos believe we are criminals and drug dealers. It is all because of how the media displays us. Racism towards Latinos is coming back stronger than ever due to immigration and comments made from politicians and their followers.
Have you ever experienced racism towards yourself?
Yeah.
Like how?
Like a story?
Yeah, like no, it doesn't have
An
to be
example.
wrong, like an example.
Okay. One day I was at a fast food restaurant and I was in line and there was a white guy. He called the white lady who was behind me to the front to take her order before mine. I felt that was racist.
All right. Have your parents or a close family member experienced racism towards them?
Yes.
Okay. Example, please.
We were at Grand Slam
Grand Slam.
and a Chinese guy said something rude to one of my little cousins, and her mom had gotten to an altercation, and he told her that black lives don't really matter. So, yeah.
Okay. Why do you think racism is such a huge issue in America? With all race.
Yeah, I think because of what happened years ago, with like slavery, people think it's a joke, and so they think it's cool or funny to let it still happen or talk about it or bring up color in any situation.
What ethnic group do you believe is the biggest target for racism?
Blacks or African Americans.
Okay. And then lastly, do you think there's a way we can fix racism as the next generation?
I think we can make it better. I don't know if it'll completely go away.
Yeah.
Have you ever dealt with racism and how?
Yes, and just ignoring it.
Okay. Has a family member or friend experienced racism?
Yes.
Do you think racism will ever stop?
I'm I'm not sure. I don't think so.
What is your definition of racism?
Trying to separate like type of race, like any type of race.
Like minority-wise?
Yeah.
Okay. And what ethnic group do you believe is targeted for racism the most?
I think Latinos and Black people.
We believe the solution to stopping racism is to become more educated about other cultures,
To not believe every stereotype that's heard.
and as cliche as it sounds, to treat everyone with respect.